Hey everyone, my name is Jamie and I want to welcome you back to my channel where we review, demo, and discuss makeup and give commentary on the beauty community as a whole. So I hope you guys had a lovely holiday season. I thoroughly enjoyed the holidays, Christmas time. It was a really good time. Like mental health wise, I did really well, which was great because I was nervous about that because like I just wanted to enjoy the holiday season. It was good, and I'm kind of bummed that it's over so fast, but I'm trying not to let that get me down too much. I have a birthday coming up in a couple weeks, so I have that to look forward to and just enjoy like the winter season. And the next big thing I get to look forward to as far as like my kids being off of school is like spring break. So we'll see what happens. But at any rate, that is not the topic of today's video. Today's video is going to be about whether or not the beauty bubble has burst. This is my second time filming this video. The first time I felt like it was a little bit too formal. I just want to have a conversation with you guys. I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers post videos about whether or not the beauty YouTube is dead. And a lot of them are kind of like, yeah, it's dead. It's like not necessarily dead, but like dying. And like the views and everything that everyone was enjoying a couple years ago just aren't there because people aren't interested. And for the longest time, I was like in denial about that, especially like being a new channel and not having a lot of subscribers and wanting to grow a channel to the point where I have a larger following. I never had aspirations of having somebody who's like 1 million views or even like 100,000 views, but like viewers. But I wanted to be enough where I can get the channel monetized and make like a little bit of extra money doing something that I find really fun, like making money off of a hobby, you know? Basically, kind of like if somebody is good at jewelry making and they love jewelry making and they want to sell that product on Etsy just to make a little bit of pocket money. Like that's kind of what I envision this channel when I get started. So in my mind, I was like, it's not that people aren't watching beauty YouTube anymore. They're just not watching the larger creators because they're just sick of their antics. Their people are going to be gravitating towards like the smaller channels. But then I started thinking about makeup sales as a whole. And I was like, let me look up to see how makeup is actually doing. Like, are people still interested in makeup the way they were in, say, 2019 before the pandemic? And the answer is no. No, people aren't purchasing makeup the way they used to. And there's, I think, several reasons for that. The coronavirus being one of the largest contributing factors to it. So I went online and I did like a tiny bit of research. And when I say tiny, I'm like, I looked on Google and I looked at the first couple of results just to kind of see what the deal is. And I came across CNBC. And here's something that I found interesting. Beauty as a whole, particularly prestige beauty brands. Oh, you see my kitty in the background. This is Lily. Hi, Lily. She's just chilling, waking up from her nap. Anyway, okay. So beauty is actually up, way up, like 25 to 35% increase from a year ago. I find that to be absolutely remarkable. But makeup in that realm is down 20%. So it's not that people aren't spending money on beauty products, they're just spending them differently than they did a couple years ago. So, for example, the hair care and fragrance, and to a lesser extent, skincare. Skincare peaked a year ago, and that's kind of gone down a little bit, but it's still up from a couple years ago. So all of those categories are doing fairly well. Makeup is really, really hurting. Like, for example, lipstick sales, in that same article. Sorry, my nose keeps getting itchy. But lipstick sales are down 40%. 40%. Like, that's a substantial decrease. And this is since 2019. We're comparing this from before coronavirus happened. And like I said, the coronavirus is a major contributing factor. Why on earth does anybody want to wear lipstick right now? I'll wait. Unless you're somebody like me who will put it on just for to film videos, there's absolutely no reason to wear lipstick because we're wearing masks most of the time. And well, we should be at least. So it's covered up. So why pay money for lipstick that you're not going to be showing to anyone else and is going to stain up your mask? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. And even for me, in my videos, I don't wear lipstick all that much because I like gloss. And gloss is easy. I think it's pretty. I'm just really not into lipsticks right now that much in general. Like, the only reason why I'm wearing this today is because it was right in front of me. It fit into where I keep my lip liners, because originally I was just going to do lip liner and a gloss and go. So sales are really, really down. And aside from people wearing masks and that being an issue, people aren't going into the office to work. A lot of more people are working from home. So you have that. We're not doing parties. We're not doing get-togethers the way we used to do. So for a lot of people, they only wore makeup when they did those activities. They wore makeup to work because that was a part of their wardrobe, if that makes sense. They only did it so that they can look presentable. Where I have my issues with that, makeup, I think your bare face is presentable. You shouldn't need makeup to feel confident going into work or anywhere else. But, it is what it is. A lot of people feel that way. And, a lot of people do it just because they like looking beautiful and giving that extra oomph. I can appreciate that. As a makeup lover, I know that when I wear my makeup, I feel cute, It doesn't mean I don't like myself without it, but that little bit of extra, pizzazz makes me feel good. It makes me happy, right? Just like it makes a lot of you guys feel happy. So the next question becomes, why did this happen? Why, besides the coronavirus, right? That's one aspect, but are there other contributing factors? And I gave it some thought and I wrote down a few different reasons. Obviously, at the top of the list was the pandemic. But next on the list is that the market just got so saturated. There were new brands popping up all the time. The established brands were just pumping out release after release after release. It was an exciting time because back, in the early 2000s, we didn't have access to rainbow eyeshadow palettes like we do now. We didn't have access to beautiful purples and greens and blues and pinks. It just was beige, sparkly beige, maybe black, brown, what we now consider just to be neutrals. Okay. And when some of the brands started experimenting, brands like Urban Decay, Kat Von D was another brand that started experimenting with color a little bit more. People got really, really excited. And that's where all of the innovation came in at. People started coming out with really, really bright, colorful products that, both at the prestige end and at the more affordable end of things. Brands like ColourPop popped up, right? Where they could have licensed products that were super, super adorable, any color under the rainbow. All right, I'm not going to belabor the point. We got color. That is fantastic, right? But think about this. people were buying it up, building up their collections. That was like a whole trend to have the biggest makeup collection that you can have, right? But at the end of the day, how many rainbow palettes can one person own, right? Like, how many do you really need? How many blue eyeshadow palettes do you need? How many foundations does somebody need to have in their collection? I focus on eyeshadows because like that's my personal favorite makeup product, but powders, primers, like once you established your favorites, you really don't need anything else. And the brands, to be honest with you, aren't coming up with anything that would motivate people to go to the store. I have not bought any makeup products this holiday season at all. Like, I didn't ask for any for Christmas. There was nothing that got me excited. And I'm somebody who does this for like a hobby, but like it just got kind of boring. I feel like the major brands aren't putting out anything interesting right now. And I think a lot of other people feel the same way. So they're like, let me use what I have and I will spend my money on things I don't have, like hair care products, like fragrance, like skincare, those kinds of things. Things that actually show, like you can show off your hair whether you're wearing a mask or not, right? People can smell your fragrance whether you're wearing a mask or not. But when I think about like the idea that there's no innovation going on, and when I think about, that there's no, like lower amount of views, initially it makes me like really, really bummed out. I think I mentioned that before. But there is another side to the coin. There's indie brands, right? They are coming out with duochromes and trichromes and multichrome eyeshadows that are absolutely stunning. And no, you can't get them at Ulta. Like, they're unique. They're special. The downside of it is most of them are like $10, $15, $20 for one eyeshadow. How many people are willing to do that, right? And the other thing is people don't know about these indie brands. If you're not into beauty YouTube and you're somebody who shops at Ulta and Sephora as your main source of makeup, you're not going to know about some of the smaller brands like Davina, Give Me Glow, Glam Light Cosmetics. Like, you're not going to be aware of that because really the only way you could get it is if you shop online. So while there is innovation going on out there, people, one, aren't aware of it. Two, they can't afford it. Those are like the two major things. And it's going to take some of the major brands to kind of get with the program and catch up, or for the indie brands to be able to expand their reach. That's going to have to happen for some of these really cool eyeshadows to become mainstream. All right, aside from the products, let's kind of get back into the YouTube end of things. Why are people saying that beauty YouTube is dead? Well, I think people are sick of the shit from larger creators. We started off with beauty drama. Whenever there's, people in the beauty fashion industry, there's going to be a little bit of drama, which is fine. It started off very, very fun. It started off with Jeffree Star released a palette the same day as so-and-so released a palette. Is that shade? So-and-so tweeted something snarky on Twitter, or you know what I'm saying? Things like that were, for the most part, pretty harmless. Like, oh, this person was a bad friend to this person. But it escalated. Now we're dealing with drama like so-and-so is associated with somebody who makes jokes about pedophilia. James Charles is messaging underage boys trying to solicit nude pictures. Like, we're talking actual crimes right now. and you had the Dramageddon and then Sistergeddon and Dramageddon 2 and like all of that. I think it just turned a lot of people off. A lot of people are like, I'm here for the makeup. I'm not here to see like what these criminals are doing. And so they stopped watching, and I don't blame them, right? I stopped watching a lot of like anybody who was like severely problematic. I stopped watching. I stopped watching Jeffree Star. Shane Dawson, although he's not in the beauty community, he was connected with Jeffree Star. I stopped watching him. Who else? I stopped watching James Charles. Like the really big YouTubers, I stopped watching because I don't want to support people who engage in that type of behavior. And I know I'm not alone. The other thing that really messed things up is that people lost trust in influencers. We had this scandal with the Morphe discount codes where people weren't disclosing whether or not they were getting paid whenever people used their coupon codes. So for example, like what was happening was, hey, if you want to buy something from Morphe, use my 10%, blah, 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 whatever the code may be. Like, use code James at checkout. And so people were doing this, not realizing that the influencers were getting a kickback for that. Now, do I have a problem with influencers getting a kickback for brands for affiliate codes? No, at its core, I don't have a problem with that at all. What I do have a problem with is not letting people know that they're getting commission from that. Along those same lines, there was also undisclosed sponsorships. A lot of these were product reviews that people were giving out, influencers were giving out, were paid sponsorships that they just weren't letting their viewers know. Is it wrong for a YouTuber to have a sponsorship? No. I would love to have a sponsorship one day. That would be freaking fantastic. Because just because you're doing sponsorships doesn't mean that you're not a trustworthy influencer. But if you are not telling people that your quote unquote review is actually a sponsorship, that's shady. And nobody really wants that. When people started figuring this out, they were like, well, hey, what the heck is this about? What would happen is they would push these products saying, go buy this palette, go buy this powder, go buy this foundation, whatever it may be, right? People would get the product home, try it out, and it would be absolute garbage. And at first people were like, maybe I'm not using it right. Maybe I'm not talented enough. Oh God, don't take a shot every single time I say, you will be plastered. Sorry. It's something I need to work on. But anyways, at first people thought that it was their fault that these products weren't working for them. And then it started coming out that these people were being paid to push these crappy makeup products that just don't work. You had that with Morphe. You had it with Tarte Shape Tape was another one. I'm trying to think what else. I can't think of other brands right off the top of my head. The most recent one, and it's still going on today, the most recent one is the KVD Good Apple Foundation, and this is on TikTok. People are like, this is the best foundation ever. Oh my God, look at how good it covers the bubble. Lots and lots and lots and lots of influencers were saying this, right? People went out and bought it, sold out. And then they were like trying it, and they were like, this is the worst foundation I've ever tried in my life. Why was it being pushed on TikTok? Is because those influencers were getting paid to do it. So why watch influencers trying to get reviews of products if they're lying to you? One of the reasons why I watch a lot of channels is to see whether I want to buy this product, whether I want to spend my money on this product or not. And the same thing goes with PR. There were a lot of influencers who were getting buttered up by receiving PR from brands and giving them high praise just so they can maintain a good relationship with the company. Now, I want to be clear. Do I think getting PR makes you inherently untrustworthy? No. There's a lot of influencers that I watch who get PR and I trust what they say is true. They'll get PR and still drag it to hell because they're like, basically, this isn't a gift. This is company marketing, and they're giving it to me in hopes of a good review, but I'm under no obligation. And just so you guys know, there's a difference between getting PR and paid sponsorships. Paid sponsorships, the company essentially tells you what you need to say, and obviously they're going to want you to paint the product in a favorable light, and the influencer will get paid for doing that. PR, the companies will send it to the influencer hoping for a good review, but there's no monetary exchange there. So there's nothing wrong with that. I support that. If I were to get big enough, I would love to get PR just to test out new products and be able to give you guys reviews on more and more items, right? But when people get manipulated by brands and start giving false reviews just to stay in their good graces, that's really, really big problem. So people stop trusting the influencers, and for all the reasons I stated. And what does that equal? Less views. And I think not only did it hit the larger creators, it trickled down to some of the smaller creators, and their views are getting lower too. And it sucks. Like, we hit a peak of makeup. I would say 2018 was the peak, maybe 2019, somewhere in between there. Then we hit a decline, and right now we're in the valley of it. And to be honest with you guys, it bums me out. Like, being a new channel, trying to build it up, if we're in the valley, like, does that give me any hope? Like, if people aren't interested in watching, like, is this something that I should continue to do? But there is a brighter side to this. Eventually, the pandemic will come to an end. It may be a year or two from now, but it will come to an end. And when it does, I think makeup is going to hit a second boom. I really, really do, because people are going to be going out, they're going to be partying, they're going to do all this stuff, and they're going to want to look their best while doing it. And that equals makeup sales. I think what the indie brands are doing, I think some of the indie brands may get a little bit larger. I think duochromes and trichromes and multichromes, I think they will get less expensive over time and become more accessible to the public. And when it comes to the beauty YouTubers, I think the bigger YouTubers are kind of on their way out. James Charles still gets a lot of views, but he doesn't get what he used to. Jeffree Star, I don't even know if he posts videos on his channel anymore. He bought himself a yak farm and he's being a cowboy or whatever. I think he saw the writing. I dislike him for all of the things that he's done, and I do believe he's a terrible person. But one thing I can't take away from him is that he's a smart businessman, and I think he saw the writing on the wall and decided to bail on the industry. But I think you're going to have a new crop of smaller channels that are going to make a come up. And when I mean smaller, I mean under 1 million. I think they're going to make a come up because they're more trustworthy, they're not involved in drama, and I think it's going to be stronger than ever eventually. It's going to take time. Because one thing that made beauty YouTube so big is that there were a lot of people who weren't there for the makeup. They were there for the drama. Now the drama has kind of died down a lot because the people who were creating the drama have learned that it no longer works in their favor. They're learning that it hurts sales if they own a brand. And it really, really did. It hurts their career because people are sick of it. So I think you're going to have a really good new crop of people. So like that, I have to keep that in the back of my mind when it comes to my channel, that eventually things will get better. And if I keep plugging away at it and building subscriber after subscriber, that maybe one day I will have a successful channel too, where people could come and learn about makeup techniques and get honest makeup reviews and all of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I would love to know what your thoughts are on all of this. Like, do you think that the makeup industry is going to make a comeback? Do you think it's dead and gone forever? Or do you think it's somewhere in between? And like, what do you think about beauty YouTube? Do you think beauty YouTube will ever be as big as it was in 2016 to 2019? Do you think people can gain the trust back of viewers? I mean, I really hope so. I really, really do. But, I would love to hear your opinion. It may be different than mine, and that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to get on out of here. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Every single view that you guys give me, every single like, every single comment, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I really, really do. If you like this video, please hit the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you really enjoyed what you saw today, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you can be aware of every single time I post. And I would love for you guys to leave your comments, just to let me know what you think about this video. I am thinking about doing more commentary style videos like this in the future. I mean, along with the makeup, I'm always going to do the makeup reviews and all of that. But I do think it's kind of cool to just sit in a chair and talk with you guys. If you like it, let me know. If you don't, you can let me know too. Just be nice about it. Anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go, but I will talk to you soon and hope to see you back. Take care. Bye.